Hey, what's up, everyone? My name is Lionel. Hey, I'm your host for LT Productions, and you are watching I Watch You Watch. We are covering BelAir that's currently streaming on the Peacock streaming network or app, whatever you want to call it, every Thursday. Now, this week we got 2 episodes. For the past 2 weeks, we've been getting 3 episodes each week. I apologize because I should have had this stuff out already. But anyways, I appreciate everyone for coming to my channel. Please like this video in support of me and this channel, and you can subscribe if you are new to this channel. And to my subscribers and ones that are in the bushes, welcome back. Yeah, just to let you know, I should have got these videos out earlier. I don't have no excuse, and I just really accept you guys' apology. I would love for you to accept my apology, and we move on from there. I'll have 2 episodes today for you just to catch up. I don't know what how many episodes we're getting next week, but I'll be more on top of it next week. All right, so let's get into this episode. All right, so episode 7 was a lot. A lot was revealed. A lot was quite, I'm not going to say scandalous, it was tempting. And a lot that we can discuss. So let's get into it. So Phil and Viv, they are heading to Punta Minta. They're ready to just get out of here, get some type of relaxation in their lives, and that's just that. Vivian is a little worried because this is the first time that she's leaving Carlton alone since he's been out of rehab, or been in rehab, or whatever. At least they're leaving. But Uncle Phil was like, everything will be okay. We'll have everything handled. We just need our me time. He's feeling Viv's vibe as far as how she's looking very beautiful. Viv, she went a little blonde, and she was just asking Phil how it looked. Did I do too much? And he said, you are just perfect. You are everything that a man could want. Da, 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 da. They're snuggling in one of those mirrors, and just, he's really giving a lot of affirmations at this point, and I'm loving it. I have something to say after, but I'm loving it. As they are getting ready to go, Mr. Omar comes by. He's pissed because these peaceful protests are getting kind of crazy because some of the protesters are chaining himself to some of the equipment that's going on. And he needs Uncle Phil to do something about it. Uncle Phil's like, I think everything will just handle itself out. And he's like, no, you need to do something. Phil has connections, and Omar wants him to do it. He says, if I can't get the help that I want, if you can't do it, Phil, then I'll get somebody who will. Omar is hell-bent on making South LA and his development the way he wants it to be. I think it's quite interesting that we get the gentrification from white people, but you don't really get it from black people, really taking away a lot of the community of South LA, but whatever. Will is there before Phil and Omar have this conversation, and he's going off about Yolanda Porter. She's really a lot of trouble. I guess Yolanda is kind of the ringleader in a way, but she also she wants the peaceful side of everything, so whatever. And Will wanted the 411 as to what's going on, and Phil said, you know, that's really none of your concern, in a very tasteful way. So the boys, Will and Carlton, they have a plan while the parents are the way, and they want the girls to come over. However, Jeffrey's going to be a chaperone, so now they're trying to figure out a way to get Jeffrey out of the house. Carlton came up with a way to get Jeffrey out of the house. Carlton did confess that the girls are coming over. Penelope is over, and basically he talks Jeffrey and Penelope into going to some type of restaurant. And Jeffrey gave strict rules like, hey, they got to be out of the house by 11:30, and that's it. I'll be home by then. So it was a good compromise, I guess, but whatever. Let's go on to Punta Minta. Phil and Viv, they arrive. They have also brought over LaMarcus's parents, Annie and Lamont. While they're talking and all that good stuff, in comes Tiana and I think his name's Caleb. They met at an alpha convention of Phil's. Like, first Phil and Dude, Caleb were friends, and then the wives, they meshed up. So at this point, the women and the men, they go do their own thing. Phil talks about the issues he's having with Omar being his client, and not so much Omar being his client, but because of the compromising position that he's in, because you want to do the right thing as a client, but also to remain true to your black community. Then they get on to some of the problems that Phil and Viv are having. So Caleb suggested, why don't you get on the blue pills, aka Viagra? And he said, well, because first he was like, to make a happier marriage, you need to have multiple orgasms. And Phil was like, ooh, I'm a little bit past that age of doing all of that, Caleb's said that he's been popping pills since he was in his 30s. So they go at it like rabbits all the time. Because it looks like for men, when the libido, yes, they do want to have sex, but the same energy is not there anymore. And it has to do more with their body and all that good stuff. At the same time, while men's libidos is kind of going down as far as their energy for it, women are at their peak with wanting to be sexually satisfied and all that. I don't know if he said it, but I think they said that I know, at least with the women, Tiana ends up telling them that they opened up their marriage. And she gets a 25-year-old. I said, okay. But they also get it in. It's not a whole like, this person just satisfies me. No, we still get it in. And we just make things work for each other. So while on the island of Punta Mita, we see that there's a lot more carefree stuff going on over there. The women are topless. The men are naked too. And of course, that's when we learn about them having an open marriage, Tiana and Caleb. Because she was flirting and saying, I wonder what he's doing tonight. I'm like, oh, what are you talking about? So you see that the conversation is alluring to Viv. And it's like, what is this? Like, it's very tempting. Viv even up just loosening herself up a little bit more, and she went topless while out there. We're gonna go back to BelAir for a few minutes. Will goes to Jazz, and Jazz was saying, hey, something's going on. Is there something going on with Omar, with Yolanda? I heard Uncle Phil and Omar talking about them. At the same time, there's a lot of people that are coming to meet at Charlie's. And Jazz was like, now's not the really good time to talk about anything. So there's this meeting right now to put extra force on this Omar situation going away. And what was I gonna say? Yolanda's going through the proper channels. She said, let's get all these signatures and all that to at least stop, or at least try to overturn and make the government make the final decision based upon our signatures and all that. And then there was another guy in there saying, no, I think it's time to turn up the heat. They learned that Uncle Phil is Will's uncle and all that good stuff. But they don't really attack him. Jazz talks to them, Will talks to Jazz a little bit more about what's going on. And he's like, I think Uncle Phil still wants peace and want everyone to be happy. And Jazz says, look, he was trying to sell Charlie's. He wants what's best for his client. Uncle Phil got himself in a bad situation, basically. Will, he goes talks to Mr. Omar and just basically saying, hey, we're a part of Black Cess and we support black business owners. One person that we do support is Charlie's. And first, Omar was really good at what Will was saying and just having positive feedback. When he heard that it was Charlie's that they were supporting, that's when his mood changed. And Will's just trying to find a happy medium between keeping the community the way it is, and you still get what you want and we get what we want, blah, 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 blah. And he's saying, what's his name? Omar ended up asking Will, aren't you benefiting off of the offer that you got from your uncle as far as a better life? Everybody couldn't come with you, right? Well, it's just the same thing as he's saying. When you look at the situation with the tenants and all with the community, everybody can't get what you want and everybody can't go with you with where you're going and all that good stuff. And basically, he got a call and said, that's it for us, we cool. So back at home, Will and Carlton are waiting on the ladies, and they come, Lisa and Amira. They got on these shorts, the Jeezy shorts, just for the couples that they're with and all this good stuff, and they made t-shirts for the guys, and it's weirding them out a little bit. Well, Also, who's been invited is Zaire. Zaire decided to bring Jackie. At this point, you know, Amir's already upset, as she always is. Zaire is the one that's kind of been a friend to Will for these last couple episodes at the country club. Will tries to smooth it over. He said to Jackie, hey, we're just homies, da 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 da, and it's all good. Me and Lisa are together, that's my lady, and that's all that I want. And everybody was like, that's good, okay. I guess we're gonna have an interesting day. So as everyone's getting ready prepared, Amir's behind, just really hating the fact that Jackie is here. And Carlton was like, well, they seem to be pleased with it, so let it be. You know, stop tripping. Jeffrey and Penelope, they go out someplace and have food and all that good stuff. It looks like it's at some type of bar because they start playing darts. But what's going on is that Penelope and Jeffrey, they're going down memory lane, reminiscing about different things. Penelope's asking, you know, do you have anyone that you're seeing? He said, no, I've had some friends here and there, but no. Jeffrey was asking beforehand, are you able to stay a little bit longer? She said no, because of her job and all that good stuff. Well, while they're doing their thing and she was about to throw a dart, she ended up bumping into this guy, and this guy was very aggressive towards her. And Jeffrey stepped right in and said, hey, what's up? Blah, 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 blah. Later on, Penelope cooled the whole situation down because it was about to get physical. Jeffrey goes into the bathroom, and that same guy came into the stall, or not into the stall, but into the bathroom, and he still wanted to pick a fight with Jeffrey. Jeffrey locked the door, and all he did is just give him what? One little punch to the neck or throat or area or whatever, knocked the wind out of him, and left Jeffrey alone. Jeffrey came out, and soon after the guy comes out, and you can tell that he was upset, and he walks out and all that good stuff. Penelope picks up on all of that and basically conjures up that you done did something, and you never did like bullies. So I'll come back to them in just a minute. Yeah, let's get back to Putamita. The group is all together, and LaMarcus's mom, I forgot, Annie, she ends up asking questions about this whole open relationship between Caleb and Tiana. And they were pretty truthful and forthright. You know, are there rules to this? You know, and they say, yeah, you just can't just bring up anybody into this whole situation and all that. We got to know what's going on, da 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 da. But everything's pretty perfect. So later on that night, Lamont and Annie, they were MIA because Lamont went on and took some blue pills. It looked like they're getting their marriage on. We did find out through Annie that her and Lamont are into spanking. Phil said, oh, he didn't say all that when we were talking earlier. Also, something that happened while they were in the group is, I guess it was a big alpha bunch of people. So anyways, all the alphas got up and they did their dance. I like that they keep that in there. Like, even though I didn't go to a HBCU, I think that would be I think that is dope. And I really wish that I did have that experience. Anyways, can't cry over spilled milk though. So, as Annie and Lamont are doing their thing, Aunt Viv and Phil, they're at the pool and jacuzzi with Caleb and Tiana. And they end up switching partners. As far as sitting around each other, they're getting seduced, Aunt Viv and Phil, with each other's partners and all that good stuff. So they get up out of the pool and then go to the hotel room, where Caleb and Tiana's hotel is at. And Tiana asked, you want a nightcap? So then, as Adventurous and Phil were like, should we go? Sure. So they all go into one room for a nightcap. So, back in BelAir, let's get back to the teenagers. Since it's a non-booze type of get-together, they decided to do this whole messy question, truth or dare type of situation. Jackie said, oh, I like messy. And then Amira said, we know. I said, Amira, stay off of Jackie's neck. I'm Team Jackie because Team Jackie didn't really do nothing. She ain't made no moves towards this dude or nothing. Yes, the past is the past, and they decided not to be together. Da, 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 da. I just haven't seen where Jackie really disrespected anyone. Sorry. So anyways, they asked the question, when did you lose your virginity, or who did you lose your virginity to? They asked Carlton, and there's a lot of nervousness because it was to Lisa. That's when Amira found out, and Zaire found out, like, what? Y'all did? What? Then they said, well, aren't y'all cousins and all that? Will was like, we don't talk about that, and I don't really feel like talking about that. And Will and Lisa, they hooked up, of course, they've had sex. But then they asked, Amira asked, so did you and Jackie F? The silence was so loud. So they found out what was going on, da-da-da-da-da. They asked some other questions because Will was like, I'm kind of conflicted between trying to do the right thing for the black community and still see the both sides of the spectrum of this whole situation, at least what's going on in South LA. Lisa confessed that, she's quite overwhelmed because she never thought that she had to have this much responsibility with her new baby brother, and then she's trying to balance everything out, school and all that good stuff. And Will was like, I didn't know all that. I forgot what Amira said, but it was kind of along the lines of, looks like nobody's really checking on you, blah, 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 blah. So after all the awkwardness and messiness, they go inside. I think Zaire and Jackie end up leaving because Amira kept putting the heat towards Jackie in this whole situation about Jackie and Will hooking up. So they end up leaving. Then Amira and Will, they get into it. Amira really calls out Will for riding the fence. And you always do things and you avoid situations to not have to pick a side and just laying your foot down on certain things. You didn't even know Lisa was going through all of this stuff. So it gets heated and all that. And Will says, that's what you feel. And Amira says, are you sure I'm the only one that feels this way? So then Will ask Carlton, are you sure? What do you think? And Carlton basically says, well, you do ride the fence on certain things. And Carlton has said certain things that he has said things in the past, like, I don't know about this, especially about the whole Jackie and Lisa thing being around each other. So they get into it a little bit. So then Will and Carlton, they fight a little bit in their own argument, nothing physical or anything. Lisa and Amira, they go talk a little bit. Lisa said, thank you for standing up for me, but I think you were a little bit too much. And Amira said, well, someone needed to stand up for you. And it looks like if I hadn't been around, you wouldn't have even got to the issue as to what's going on with you. And I think Will and Lisa did talk a little bit later about, I did make things okay between you and Jackie to make sure everything was okay with you. It's like I pushed how I feel out of the way to make things better. Will did say, in the future, let me know. It's not all about me because I still want to be there for you. And it has been this way for the past 2 seasons as far as we have seen. I think that it has been Lisa really supporting Will in all of his stuff that's going on. And he said he got her. So Lisa and Will, they made a pact. Lisa said, hey, check on me. Even if I don't say that I need something from you. And I've been trying to figure that out as far as with strong friends. Do strong friends actually be weak? It's like, how do we know? Because we could ask you all day. That don't mean that you're going to be open. So that's kind of weird in a sense, or tricky as to how to deal with strong friends. Are strong friends that vulnerable to say, hey, I really need you? Because it's always at the last moment that these strong friends start really popping up, are losing their cool about certain things. So anyways, while Lisa and Amira were talking, Lisa needed to get some lotion, and she ended up finding a vial of cocaine. And she said, well, what is all this? You've been forcing everybody else to be truthful and all that, and you're not even living in your realness. And she said, look, I got it, but I did not use it. And she said, well, what's really going on with you? How come you're not being truthful? And she said, look, it's the anniversary of my sister's death. Wasn't it just like that a couple of days ago, ma'am? Or whenever? When you told that to Carlton? So she said, look, you can't tell Carlton because he's drawing all of his strength from me. Not really, Amira. Not really. He wants you around as a support system. He's able, I don't know what that is, and maybe I need to look it up. Somehow you think some people need you when really you need somebody because you are sinking. And manipulative. And how I describe Amira, she is a double-edged sword. She can hurt and heal you at the same time. Meaning, that whole questionnaire that she came up with, it was all messy, but at the same time, it forced people to say what needed to be said. Ashley has been that way this season, and now it looks like Amira is too. So, it's like, I say Amira is complicated. I don't think that she's an evil person. I don't think that she needs to be so involved with Carlton like this. She needs some help. So she makes Lisa promise not to tell Carlton, of course, or anybody. Of course, because now your lies will be told. And I'm wondering about this whole sister thing, and I'm wondering if Amira had something to do with the sister. Let's go over to Jeffrey and Penelope. So it looks like Penelope is going to try to stay, and they end up dancing, and it's looking pretty hot, so it looks like Jeffrey and Penelope probably got a little action in. I said, oh, go ahead, G. We find out the end results of Uncle Phil and Viv. They didn't go through with it. However, they went back to their hotel room and they finally had sex. I said, thank God. However, I just have a question. How do you guys think about Phil and Viv's relationship? I mean, it's only been 2 days that they're gone, I think, to Punta Mita. I think they really need to go to therapy or counseling, because I just think that there's just band-aids that are being put on there. But you guys can give me your comments below. So the ending scene is that we find out that these protesters went to go destroy the whole construction site, lighting up and putting it and causing arsony. So it wasn't supposed to go as far as that, but some of the others were quite extremists in this type of situation. So I can't wait to get to the next episode with you guys. But again, I'm enjoying this season. I mean, they have opened up a lot of topics this season on a lot of things that are going on. Missing Hillary and Ashley and all that good stuff. But anyways, I appreciate everyone for coming to my channel. Again, please like this video. And also, you can support by subscribing and leave your comments below. Until the next one, peace.